Hi there, Leo. Welcome to your end of May 2023 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, I keep getting that card. Two major arcana cards going alongside of it. Okay. So, some of you who may have been emerging, I almost think of the Strength card that's associated with Leo, into this time of your life where maybe you're starting to trust yourself more and you are going after your dreams. In the past position, we have the Magician card, which is really about conscious co-creating. That person is, interacting with the vortex it's almost like this cauldron and seeing what they can create and being in that kind of a flow, that creative flow. And the thing is that you may feel at a crossroads in your work. Two of Pentacles can indicate that, like kind of pulled in two different directions. Sometimes I think, the Magician connects with Aries, and I think of that freedom-loving warrior spirit, and then you have the safety of what Pentacles represent, the earth, the stability, which is nothing to sneeze at, is not anything, ridiculous, because when you have stability, you can build on that, and you can, anything that you do will have more likelihood of taking root, because it's not like being blown by the wind. So I totally get that. But it could be that you've been living in a certain way that has prevented you from fully embracing this idea that you are a co-creator with the universe. And I always use the word conscious, because when you are conscious of that, then you are deliberate. Everyone is creating, whether they are conscious of it or not, but some people are creating a lot of misery for themselves, and a life of complications and feelings of restriction, because they didn't think ahead. They lived, and living in the moment can be beautiful too, because the now moment is eternal. But I'm really speaking of the choices that we make. Some people make choices on a whim instead of really thinking things through. So you might be torn between that more stable and guaranteed way of living and the more magical and outside of space and time perspective. And the higher message is the Temperance card, which is kind of like, you see the person looks human, but they have these wings. So it's kind of like as above, so below. That your spiritual life, your spiritual path is not separate from your earthly walk. If you're doing it right, if you are not compartmentalizing, but you're really bringing all of that, what you feel on the spiritual level, into your day-to-day living. And that could also be what you do for a living, because when people are going through any kind of spiritual awakening, they will often find that things fall away that are just not resonating with them anymore. People, places, and things. And you can very easily find yourself not, sometimes maybe you don't even feel capable of doing it. It could be a job that you're like, I can't go in there anymore. I just can't. Or a relationship that has run its course. And you may wish the best for that individual, but you simply cannot find it within yourself to keep going in that direction. And being able to accept that is so crucial, because a lot of times there may be this tendency, no, I have to, I don't want it to end, even when you know that it's truly over. What crosses you is the Five of Cups. Isn't it interesting? I see the Magician card and the Five of Cups. They almost look like a similar energy. But in this case, this is about letting go and accepting that something is over, like grieving the loss of something. So one of the things, like if you are on the horns of a dilemma or like a change that you have to make, sometimes one of the first things you have to do is you have to mourn the loss of what could have been. So a person who is contemplating leaving their marriage has to admit to themselves that their dreams for that relationship did not come to fruition, and they have to be able to sit with that and be okay with that and not have that be some kind of tragedy. Is that possible? Absolutely. I think it's totally possible that you can grieve the loss of something without feeling like it really is a loss, without feeling like you're less than you were before because this thing isn't in your life. So making peace with that is so important. And sometimes it's as simple as acknowledging that something is over and not holding out hope that somehow it's going to get better, when you know in your heart of hearts that it can't, because it takes two. What's coming in? The Ace of Swords. That's that mental illumination. Again, I get this card sometimes when there is some kind of denial within a person, where they are not really seeing the truth of their situation. And, let me give you a more practical example versus a relationship, where let's say that some Leo person has, gone to school for something. You majored in this thing. Maybe you even got a master's degree in it, like an advanced degree. And you just don't like the work. When you went into the quote unquote real world to do it, it was different than the textbooks. And or maybe you just grew up a little bit and you realized it was never your dream. It was your parents' dream. It was something that you were encouraged because you were good at it, but you just aren't into it. The Magician is about your creations, it's not about pulling a rabbit out of a hat. It's about something that you are creating. Now, Leos tend to be like literally creative. And I'm talking about with the arts, the performing arts in particular. But do we in our society get encouraged to be artists? Whether it's a painter or a dancer? No, nobody does that. I mean, maybe nowadays they're a little bit more accepting of it, but I know that in the past they didn't, because it's not one of those cookie cutter professions that you just go to school and then you're guaranteed that you might get some job offer at the end of it. It's really a path where you have to walk in faith, and it's like a spiritual path. It doesn't have this prefabricated guidepost for you. You have to create it yourself. The Ace of Swords is about mental clarity, about seeing what it is that you really want, because that the heart of the matter, remember, it's a two, so you can be having to make a choice, and you might be like not sure about what to do about something. The outcome is the Seven of Swords. I would say in this particular context to look at the photo bomb by the Raven. Um, I would say to to keep your dreams close to your vest, perhaps, because it might be a situation where you are going to do something that threatens other people's sense of themselves, because you're going to be honoring your own path and maybe they're not honoring theirs. So the chance of them encouraging you might not be all that great. Are you still able to do it? Do you still have the, you might be able to do it even with discouragement around you, but it's better when you can just do something on your own and then tell people about it later, so that you already have this experience of having confidence in when you have this young tender, what do they call it, like I was going to say tenderling, um, this flower that it's in the shoot stage where it still is trying to gain ground. And sometimes we have to keep our dreams close to our vest because we really want to protect it. Okay, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated, Leo. If you would like a personal reading, the link is below. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.